Okay, my name is Julde Samuel Joseph. I'm a Nigerian, I'm an artist, and a Christian. My mom saw it in me first, then later introduced me to it. It's very demanding. Art is one of those craft that demands from you beyond physical. It demands from you mentally, even spiritually. You can't just see an art and you want to buy it. People would always say it's all food. The majority of Nigerian audience do not see value in art. They will be faced my art journey that was my own problem. I needed to convince myself that I was good at this. If I want to go to the business of arts and a gospel coming, don't focus on what will weigh you down. Don't focus on the audience. Just focus on making art. Focus on yourself. Because what's the essence of producing art that you're not satisfied? What's the essence of making art that reaches you of joy? What makes my work stand out from theirs is okay, my name is Julde Samuel Joseph. I'm a Nigerian, I'm an artist, and a Christian. So I'm from a family of four. I have my mom, two older siblings, and myself. I have two older sisters, Mercy and Joy, and I'm Samuel. I'm the older boy.
Alright, switch.
Well, I won't say I knew for myself. My mom saw it in me first,
Which is?
then later introduced me to it. I think how you noticed it was when, from my young age, noticed that my drawings were usually outstanding compared to my colleagues back in school then. So I think that was when she saw it in me and then felt art would be it for me. And then she attempted to register me to at least start a art course. But that was like way back in my primary school. It didn't work out that time when she wanted to do it. Therefore, that's how she saw art to me before I saw it to myself. I saw other artists. And how their works look. And I just wanted that for myself too. But the fact that some of them share their story with men seems similar. Like growing up, the mythicity themselves, or someone saw it in them, and then that's how they grew it in them. And then that was similar with me. It was relatively since, like I said earlier, my mom first saw it in me, and then if now we have always tried to make it better. At the beginning of me learning art, it's very demanding. It's demanding. Art is one of those craft that demands from you beyond physical. It demands from you mentally, even spiritually. It demands from you. But sometimes you have to tell yourself that you can do it. Battling within yourself. And for me, that's the most intense battle you can face in life. Battling with yourself. So art does that, especially at the beginning stage. It wants to challenge you to prove to yourself that you can actually do it. So if you're able to convince yourself that you can do it, then you can start the journey of art. Okay, like how I saw self-capital. So, your own part, I would say honestly, I'm privileged to have my mom. I did my little to source a little. The little I did was I would make little things, sell it, save some money, but then art materials, the amounts, the prices are outrageous. So my little savings didn't cover for it all. So my mom stepped in and bought material in bulk, because in art, materials consumes. In the whole aspect of art is something else, even considering materials. So my mom stepped in, and then that's how I was able to raise at least something tangible. I was able to get some materials in bulk. So that's how whenever I get a commission I want to pay, at least I have where I just set the store, I don't go get it by me, and then I work. continue. When I work, of course, I return my profits. I keep my profit and then I return my capital, so it will keep growing with me too. That's how I was able to source my capital to start my own little. So one major challenge I'm facing, I still face is, and an artist, art is one of the businesses where it's not just random buying and selling transaction. You can't just walk to me, you can't just see an art and you want to buy. People would always say it's all food, what would it be, what would I be, so art business doesn't move, doesn't just flow until you find yourself in the right place at the right time, the right set of people. So one challenge for me is, identifying myself with such a community of people that see the value in art and are willing to pay for it, for the services and even for the entertainment. So the availability of people that see my potential and see everything that I see in myself is what is the limitation for me. It's a challenge in my art to me. So that's that. I would say that honestly, the majority of Nigerian audience do not see value in art and do not see value in art. I'm sorry to say that, but then it's true. It's true. There are selective communities see art and value it. Selective communities, very selective. Northern states will barely entertain art. Kind of art when it came somewhere outside. Art's a vast store. Talking about painting itself. For someone to want to purchase your art, you'd have to work on convincing them on why to purchase your art. And that's of course your own duty as an artist. You have to advertise your art and tell your customers why they should buy it. If you play it well and then you convince them to buy it, then that's it. But then the challenge here is after you express yourself and then you say the why you should purchase your art. Many still pop up and say that, what would I gain? I will not wake up in the morning and then be seeing art. People don't really understand the psychology behind art. Art has this potential of even easing your mind. Some people, when they can be stressed and then all that can ease them off of the stress. It's probably staying at nature, staying an art. So sometimes art is nature being brought to your doorstep. An artist captures whatever it is, like your mind reads, keeps it in your home for you or in your space. When you stare at it, and it will give you the same that nature will give you outside. So it's like bringing it at your doorstep. For them, most people don't have that understanding in it, and that's why you struggle even after trying to convince a client or a customer why they should get art. They don't really see the need of getting art. So Nigeria is a very stubborn audience when it comes to valuing art. I felt that lots of times. I felt that, especially when I was trying, like I said earlier, there was the phase there was a taste in my art journey that was my own problem. I needed to convince myself that I was good at this. So that phase, it wasn't easy for me. I really felt like giving up lots of times. In fact, don't be surprised if I tell you recently I still felt the same. Acts can be that challenging. Sometimes you just want to prove a point to yourself, but then the process to prove that point is not that easy. So you have to be strong within yourself. You don't have to give up easy. Considering the challenge of audience, challenge of pricing, materials, your time and all of that. All these are major challenges that artists face, and I also face that I take friendship commercial that I face in my art journey. Okay, I specialize in painting, but before I paint, I make sketches. So I paint my sketches. The hardest part of running this business in Nigeria is putting yourself in the right society. When you're in the right society, you even need your capital, your finances, so put yourself in peace. People are attracted to value. Sometimes the value of the man isn't always reside with you, so you should admit outside also. But people are attracted to value. If your value is only invisible, people will see it. The common man detects ICC. So the value has to be visible for people to see and to work on. So even if you should find yourself in the right society, your value should be out and speak for you. That way you would flow with the society, and people that way would patronize you without hesitation. So being in the right society is a major factor for you to thrive in arts in Nigeria. You should have a good infrastructure to exhibit your art also. That the good space at least to exhibit your art. Space that people can really work on,
physical.
enjoy their view, and then leave your gallery, the conductor. So you need that also.
Yeah.
You need to entertain them well when they are in your gallery or your studio. You need to entertain people and give them a reason to always keep coming back. So these are 3 challenges that you have to tackle if you want to try the San Francisco. Honestly, I don't really work when I'm in school. When I'm in school, I just try to face school because I have a target in school, so I wouldn't want my business to tamper with my art, but I still try to balance it. So when I'm in school, majorly I focus on my schoolwork, and then when I have break or vacations, then I work when I'm off school. But then sometimes I have commissions even while I'm in school, so I have to check my schedule, and then I plan your career academy. Still at least meet up. Because art also keeps him surviving in school, so I can't just not work because I'm in school, but I don't allow it complete with my school work. That's how I try to balance with you. Because in the next 5 to 6 years, see myself in a society here, dreamt of society that sees my value, that welcomes me. Society that is willing to identify itself as someone of value. I see myself as my art, giving people hope that something good indeed can come out of no matter whatever circumstance. Judging by my current circumstance, some might be tempted to not see what I see in myself, but then that's a problem. My problem is to ensure that what I see in myself is manifested. So in the next 5-6 years, I hope to see myself owning my art gallery. Art gallery. Yeah. Well, I don't have a location precisely in mind yet. I don't have a precise determined. The location, of course, has to be in the right society. Yeah, talk about an easy instance, like one instance. Earlier before started this interview, trying to mount up my art on an evil stand, but considering the size I have, it wasn't convenient, so I had to look for an alternative method to hang the art. So if I could get an easel stand, get more paints, some techniques that I want to try, that I see the way the technique is being done, I'll just think of how much paint am I going to spend to do this. I just have to just manage with what I have, if I can have sufficient materials, sufficient paints, sufficient brushes, sufficient palette knives, easel, I think I would even do that. I am sure I will say that I got material at my disposal.
Alright. So I know there are a lot of artists now. Yeah. And then what makes your art different from them? So what's unique about it?
Well, some of these artists, I won't even like sometimes when I look at their work and I look at mine. For some, I can see that they are the better presentation than me. And for some, I can see that about myself, but then I have a better presentation than they did. But then, what makes my work stand out from theirs is the process. Whenever I produce a case, I don't produce a case with an empty mind. As I work, I create the story in my head and it flows. And the story is always authentic. It's always authentic. It's either it has happened, it's about to happen, but then my stories are always genuine. So if I eventually make my painting but finish the project, I feel what makes my art stand out is the process of the project itself or the art itself. I can tell you why I made this painting, and as I'm telling you, you can actually see the why in what I'm saying as you're staring at the painting. So I can give you a real life or relatable stories that you can understand why I made this painting. And I believe that's how you see value in what I've done. I don't just make art because I feel like making art, but I have a restriction there, arts that I cannot make, not because I can't do it with my heart, but I can't do it because of my personality. So whatever work I produce works that I feel value to. So when I tell you about the work, you really see the value. That's how my work stands out, my presentation, my art stands out from my colleagues. I have both good and bad experience. Yeah, so someone commissioned me to make a painting for his girlfriend. Yeah, so and then I was still in that phase of battling with my self-confidence. But then he trusted me to make the painting for him, so I took the commission, I took the work, and then I produced the painting. I myself wasn't satisfied with the work. When I finished the painting, the first incident that happened is my palette knife fell on the painting. So the painting was already messed up. So I had to arrange it and then leave it to the subject. I framed it, the frame got broken. So I had to adjust it and then make it presentable. So after I did all of that, I presented the art to him. In fact, I unveiled it to show him the work, and I could see in his face he wasn't easily satisfied with that 5 minutes. Yeah, so that was one experience that's not a good one. So for a good experience, someone comes and asked me to make the painting. He wants me to make the painting. He sent me a reference, a guide on what he wants me to print. So he did me his brief, what he wants the painting to look like. He painted me for a soldier. He asked me to, make the character his soldier. Just gave me his daily briefs and all of that. So I made the painting. And after I was done with the painting, I showed him before the evening. So when I showed him, his remark showed that he was super excited. He never expected what I gave him. He was expecting at least close to whatever it is that he had as an expectation. But then from his remark, his comment, it was obvious that it exceeded his expectation. He gave his friend, he showed his friend the same art. His friend also had the same in art and all of that. So these are good experiences that I've had. If you want to go to the business of arts and the lost outcome, don't focus on or weigh you down. Don't focus on the audience. Don't focus on perfection. Just focus on making art. Focus on yourself. Because what's the essence of producing art that you're not satisfied with? What's the essence of making art that reach your joy, whereas the peace and the well, don't focus on people, focus on yourself, and you make your art, you can try that you are happy with what you create, and then just keep on working, just keep on working. I believe personally that everyone has their time. Nobody just woke up and then where they have to be. You have to do it's a process. So the upcoming and then you love arts, just keep on making arts. Don't worry about how much you make from making the arts. Don't worry about the audience, customers or clients. Just keep on making arts. Oh, now from that stage, putting every effort to where I am now, then I had the opportunity to widen my knowledge and experience on art. I had it at some point in my life, but then I did it. God of merciful tonight still give me that chance, and that's why I enjoy it. So, but if I have another opportunity to start all over, I would ensure to produce art, lots of art. Because earlier I was talking about I see myself in 5-6 years, and I see myself owning my gallery because this. What would I stock up the gallery if I didn't have my series of collections? So you see, I have to work extra to be able to make a series of collections within the short time of my gallery. But if I started long before, but now I wouldn't. I would have what to work with as it is. So I would just between the hard work, the level of hard work would be different. So you can follow me on Julde's Art on Instagram, on Facebook, very easily. 22 64 68 14. That's my WhatsApp number, so you can reach out to me for a clever kind of art needs.